What is the ittiest advice you've ever gotten? Broke my arm in the 4th grade. The teacher's advice was to get a drink of water as the only form of medical attention until I finally convinced them to call my parents. It didn't fix my broken arm. Sell your cable TV stock in 1978. Dad, there's no future in those bloody computers, son. 35 years ago. Was told I should practice drinking and driving so I could figure out exactly how much I can drink and still be able to drive safely. When I was broke and halfway through college, my mom said, "Hey, I guess you have to drop out and give up. That's life, honey." Thank God I didn't listen to her itty advice and pushed through. I now have my degree and am financially stable. Have a baby together. You will have a family and learn to love each other. In my junior year of college, my advisor advised that I drop out and focus on raising my baby that was on the way. I told one of my teachers what she said and he said, "What? No, that's stupid. I'm your advisor now. Graduated on time. Raised son. It all worked out." Before I got married, my parents felt compelled to impart all sorts of unsolicited advice as though we were children embarking on our first step into adulthood. I was 35. My husband was 32. We'd been living together for 6 years, and we'd had about 4 disagreements in that time, so we were reasonably confident in our choices. My parents' brilliant advice was that we needed to decide now who is in charge in our relationship because otherwise we'll spend all our time fighting. They said both of their parents had that problem, so they just decided to do things right and make sure my father was in charge, so they never fought. The amount of selective memory and out bullet contained within those statements still boggles my mind. Edit. Gold. Just for itching about my parents? Thank you. But really, the amount of support from all of you is really touching. Thank you very much. My sister's advice to me: if you're ever drunk and need to drive, just do some coke. I went to the dentist once because my wisdom tooth was growing in sideways and cutting my gum and it was swelling up and really painful. The entire time he's looking at my teeth, he's trying to convince me to get braces for one crooked tooth I have in the front. And I keep asking him what to do about my swollen gum and he told me to just brush your teeth harder. Also, just think more positive. No need for a lock. Get an axe and strap it to your bike. Nobody wants to mess with someone who has an axe, so nobody will try to steal your bike. I swear I didn't make this up. The guy who said it seemed more than a little drunk though. I had to miss some high school orchestra rehearsals because I had gotten a job performing for a musical. My conductor said taking gigs is not a good way to start your career in music. Yeah, try again, bub. People won't judge you if you tell the truth. Borrow as much as you need for college. Don't worry about how you'll pay it back. Just have fun. Really stupid. I went to a private college that cost over $100k. I owed $46k in student loans when I graduated. A $600 a month minimum payment on an entry-level salary really limits your options post-school. When I was diagnosed with aggressive cancer, chemo is poison. Don't let those doctors kill you. They just want to make a profit. If you fast and drink lemon water, your body will heal itself. Literally the worst advice. I would be dead right now. I was getting a hard time in school from other kids. The advice I received was just ignore them. Anyone who's being bullied will tell you that simply ignoring it is not possible because bullies don't allow you to ignore them. Yeah, no, son. Being with a woman is a lot like eating at a fancy restaurant. If you order the lasagna, you should eat the lasagna. That's the entree you picked, and you owe it to the lasagna to clean your plate. But as long as you're going to clean your plate, it's okay to try a bite of other foods here and there. That's not neglecting your lasagna. It's just making sure that lasagna is really as good as you think it is. And if you like a different dish more, it's better to find out now, before you're full. This said while encouraging me to cheat on my girlfriend while we were on a family vacation. In the military, in Iraq, the sweat is irritating, and to fix that, my friend says you just stop drinking water. I was dumbfounded. Good things come to those who wait. The worst advice you could ever give someone. Sometimes having a kid is the best way to become an adult. Friend of a friend who got knocked up at 20, dropped out of college, and is going nowhere in life with kid number 2 on the way. You don't need to move away and go to college, just stay here with me and I can get you a job down at the shop. Coming from my dad, who is a mechanic and lives in a small town with a population of sub 4,000, who has been making just above minimum wage all his life. Treat them mean, keep them keen. My current girlfriend of 9 years, and the girl I was pursuing when my friend gave me the above advice, has said that if I had started being an arrogant D towards her, she would have just stopped bothering to see me. You'll understand when you're older. I'm older now and still don't understand it. The taboo of sharing salary information with your co-workers is unprofessional. This BS is solely perpetuated to help your superior pay you the minimum salary required to still get you to come to work every day. Oftentimes, but obviously not always, people are arbitrarily paid different salaries. I had an infuriating situation occur when I earned a management promotion in my previous role. I was basically 100% production on top of all of the responsibilities of being a manager. My hard work was acknowledged by my boss, telling me I needed to train a new hire with zero experience in our industry to be a carbon copy of my current role so I could advance into my promotion. So I spent a year training the new person who was underpaid and eventually quit pretty much immediately when I had him ready to assume my position. Well, long story short, no one was trained enough to assume my role, so my promotion evaporated. Meanwhile, I was running around with my hair on fire doing the workload of 2 people, never missing a single deadline. Out of perceived necessity, my boss hired another new person with no experience in our industry, very little general work experience, and asked me to train this person from scratch. Again. Obviously, I was frustrated, but I don't back down from my responsibilities, so I took on this setback challenge. All was tolerable until the new person unknowingly shared she was making the salary that I was told I would earn once I got promoted. Young people entering corporate America, never hide your salaries from your co-workers if the opportunity presents itself. Businesses won't look out for you. Full stop. Our relationships told me to dump my girlfriend when she tested positive for Hodgkin's lymphoma right after I met her 3 years ago. Now we're engaged and she's been cancer free for 2 years. Do these drugs. It will level out your drunkenness. Till a lot of you folks have used sugar. Thanks for the inbox full of crazy stories. I enjoyed reading them. That I better catch me a man because I was getting old. I was 19 and at the wedding of a 20 and 21 year old. There wasn't even alcohol because majority of the guests were underage. I'm no longer friends with those people for many reasons. Not the ones that got married. They moved and we lost touch. But the ones telling me to catch a man still live in the same city and we don't speak. If I married the guy I was dating at 19/20, I would be a very bitter, angry person. Some people find the person they were meant to be with at a young age. I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't succumb to the pressure just because everyone else around me thought that they had. I met my husband when I was 25 and everything's been going good. I made the right decision. Why are you sad? Just cheer up. Gee, I never thought of that before. If there's ever a problem, just walk out on the balcony here. Walk out and put that double barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house. Drunk Uncle Joe Biden. I was a teen dad supporting a stay-at-home wife and kid and was going to engineering school at the same time. I kept getting advice from adults that I should quit school, pick a safe job and work my way up. Why work a part-time, near minimum wage job or internship when I could quit and work full-time as landscaper or utility worker and make $3 an hour more? That was 20 years ago. Today I probably make 3 or 4 times what a landscaping or utility career would have yielded, and I am in a career that I love. It's taken me all over the world and opened some amazing opportunities. If you believe in yourself, anything is possible. Yeah, right, guy who gave a speech when I was in 3rd grade. Just be yourself. No, if you are terrible, if you are obnoxious, really, if you're any human who doesn't consider the need for inhibition, then you turn out to be an asshole. I open up to my parents that I might have been molested when I was 6 years old. They told me it's not that big of a deal and that it happened to every girl, so I should get over it. Sadly, I didn't get over and went to find advice elsewhere. During an anxiety attack, just don't think about it. Oh, Okay. Phew. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Just in general, I think the popular quote "live every day like it's your last" is a terrible piece of advice. Nobody can live every day like it's their last because it's not feasible. If it were my last day, and I knew it, I would not go to work. I'd spend my day with my family and friends. I'd eat the unhealthiest pub food, poutine. Done. I'd drink and laugh and spend all of my money. If I did this every day, I would be poor, unhealthy and delusional. The truth is that the quote should be learn or take something special from each day because normal, average days are okay too, and telling people to live like they're dying means that people feel useless if they are not being wild or doing out of the box things. I constantly see people my age, 20s, complaining when they return from traveling, or complaining about working full time because they aren't living to their fullest. But you can live a peaceful, simple life and be happy and fulfilled. Edit. I forgot about Reddit my whole work day after posting this. Now I come back half an hour before the end of my day to gold. Thank you everyone. I'll work on replying to some of the children now. Have a good weekend. I went to my doctor for a sort of checkup after having been prescribed antidepressants. The doctor I saw the second time told me to smile more, and that way I wouldn't need to come to the doctor for something so trivial. Thanks Duckwood. Masturbate before oral to last longer. Thanks mate, I was on a time crunch and had to finish myself. Wow, Reddit gold. Hope my mom doesn't see this. Thank you. Blood is thicker than water. Family is forever. Narcissistic bullet. Family is the people who are there for you. They don't need to be blood. And you don't need to keep people in your life who give nothing back to the relationship. I was told to rent an apartment I could barely afford when I started my first job in Los Angeles. Let me stress that this is a terrible idea. Only rent what you know you can afford for as long as you're bound to the lease. It can ruin you to live in a major city without a job and leased into something you can't support. Also, if I rented higher, I couldn't have afforded furniture or any nights out with friends. Spend conservatively. You should work in sales. Worked in sales for 2 years. It was easily the worst 2 years of my life. Trust me, you should not work in sales. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Not to me personally, but this YouTuber I was watching got a question something along the lines of, how do you fight depression? And her answer was, I wake up every day and choose to be happy. Now that my depression has gotten pretty bad, I think about this sometimes and seethe. Can't feel anything? Take another pill. To get a degree to go into newspaper journalism because it's what I wanted to do and I was good at it. The career field started imploding within a year of my graduation, and then the recession decimated it. I made $28,000 or less for the first 10 years. I'm still paying off my college debts. Nothing compares to getting death threats from both sides of the same political articles while making 2 roommates level salary, driving 20-year-old cars and eating beans and rice. In 7th grade I was prescribed Adderall and my doctor encouraged me to experiment with the dosage. I learned from my experimenting that 60 milligrams of Adderall will keep me awake for about 40 hours straight. When I was 19, this older man co-worker asked me, I'm a guy, if I had any kids, and I said no. He then asked at what age did I think I would want to have kids, and I said I don't know. Maybe late 20s, early 30s. He said no way that I should get married and have kids now because if I have them late, I would be too old when they grow up to be around their 20s. I walked away thinking that encouraging a 19-year-old kid with a crappy job and crap pay to have kids is horrible advice. If you stay with her, you'll never forgive yourself when you're older for not having the experience with other women. I was 18 at the time with a 2-year relationship. It's been 10 years with her and everyone who gave me that advice is either divorced, bitter, or running around trying to tie down anyone they can.